CKTV is back with our second show.
We're talking a lot of ways to give back this holiday, some of which includes frosting.
And we've got updates on some of the cool things happening in classes.
Stay tuned. CKTV starts now.
Good morning, CKMSB. I'm Herbie Hanson.
And I'm Marco Q. You're watching CKTV.
Today is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025.
And we're coming to you from the CKTV studio.
We've just got a few more days before Thanksgiving break.
And a lot has happened since. We saw you last, so let's get to it.
2 weeks ago, there was an assembly for OK to Say, where they showed a tool that can be used to anonymously share if there is something going on at school that is dangerous or can harm to a student, teacher, or other staff members.
The tip line can be used for contacting help in case of bullying, cyberbullying, self-harm, and other criminal activities. There are posters around the school that direct you to the app or site, or you can go to the OK to Say website. Tips can be submitted 24 hours a day and 7 days a week.
The presenter reminded students that pranking will not be tolerated and is a waste of their resources, and that in case of an urgent emergency, you should instead call 911 or the local police.
In other school news, our community has been hard at work collecting items for the Lighthouse organization. They are a non-profit volunteer food-run pantry located in Pontiac. Students are asked to bring in shelf-stable items to help those in need to have enough for Thanksgiving next week. The drive ended today, and items will be delivered to Lighthouse later this week.
Even though that donation drive is coming to an end, there are 2 other opportunities that CKMSB is participating in to give back to others. As we head into the holiday season, CLC leaders have organized a donation event for Toys for Tots, which is a nonprofit run by the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve.
The whole mission for Toys for Tots is to collect new, unwrapped toys to give to children whose families may not be able to afford them. This year, CLC is asking for you to donate new books, Legos, video games, or sporting goods. There are bins in the commons area around the school.
On top of that, as is tradition every year in December, CKMSB will take part in a community service project as part of giving back to our greater community. In the past, the school worked on donating things to the Johnson Center or making blankets for children at Beaumont. But this year, we're trying something new.
Our new product is all about creating birthday boxes for the local organizations, the DRE project in Pontiac and Open Hands Pantry in Royal Oak.
You may be wondering what a birthday in a box is. Well, it's basically a birthday in a box. Inside these boxes will be cake mix, frosting, candles, balloons, everything one would need to celebrate a birthday.
And here's the cool part about that. Miss Dawson learned that the cake is made with Sprite or cola instead of eggs or oil, so everything is shelf-stable for months. The DRE project says that they hand out at least 50 of these boxes each month to families in need.
So here's where students and staff come in. Starting the week after Thanksgiving break, there will be spots in each lobby to display and drop off items. Those required items will be collected by grade level.
6th graders are in charge of bringing in cans of frosting, and 7th graders should bring in cake mix, and 8th graders should bring in pop, specifically either cola or Sprite.
Faculty is involved too. Teachers and staff should bring in other birthday goodies, so things like candles, balloons, plates, and napkins.
Students can also color or make generic happy birthday cards that can be placed in those trays. These shouldn't have any names on them.
And you should mark your calendar because there will be 2 opportunities where you can pay $5 to wear sweatpants during the day. Those will be on Wednesday, December 3rd, and Wednesday, December 10th.
The money made from those 2 days will go towards the buying of the rest of the supplies needed for a birthday in a box. Things like aluminum trays, saran wrap, and any other items needed to complete the party in the box.
Then, on Monday, December 15th, each grade level will take over a different lobby and create an assembly line to load trays with the party items. There will be a 50-minute advisory that day, and then the trays will be delivered to the food pantries later that week. In grade level news, our 8th graders have had the chance to make ice cream a few weeks ago in science class using liquid nitrogen. 8th grade science teacher Mr. Slade led the boys in several experiments, including freezing a racquetball and throwing it on the ground to see the effects.
Last week on Friday, 8th graders hopped on a bus and took a field trip over to the upper school to get a sense of what would happen next year, or could be like. The boys first met up with heads of the upper school, Mrs. Doherty, and as well as Mrs. Laffertine, the dean of students at the upper school. They also got to hear from the head football coach, Coach Green, as well as 2 current upper school students. The boys listened to what the upper school experience is like and got to ask questions.
From there, the class of 2030 split up into 2 smaller groups and got to tour the 2 different campuses on the Kingswood campus. They went to the makerspace on campus and had the chance to choose between making a mug, a night lamp, or a custom stamp. They also toured throughout the different halls and buildings. They then bussed over to the Cranbrook campus and had a chance to experience what some of their classes may be like, as well as look at the different libraries and makerspaces. Then, they all had the chance to go to lunch on campus and eat in the same cafeteria as upper school students.
And in other 8th grade news, just yesterday, the 8th graders got to skip out on dress code and dress as characters from the coming-age novel, The Outsiders, by S.E. Hinton, where they just finished reading in the English class last week.
In the novel, there is a rivalry between 2 different groups, the Socias and the Greasers. The Greasers are in a class war with the wealthier Socians, who dress nicely. The Greasers are known to have long hair that they slicked back, so the 8th graders copied that Greaser style with their hair greased up and slicked back, along with jean or leather, jackets, and white socks.
The novel is a good reminder of the shared humanity between us all, and 8th graders enjoyed getting to dress as a part of what they read. They'll get a chance to watch the movie version of the book this week.
In 7th grade news, the 7th graders have also been hard at work with some interesting projects in class. In science, they've been working on a project about geologic timescale.
Yes, they were assigned a period or eon in the geological timescale, and they made a Canada poster to try and convince people to come to that period or eon.
7th graders are also hard at work on their medieval African kingdom travel poster project. As part of that project, the student picked one of 4 kingdoms they had studied, which included medieval Mali, Ghana, Songhai, and Great Zimbabwe.
Then they created a travel advertisement to convince people to travel there. To be successful, they had to put themselves in the shoes of someone in the time frame and use specific historical examples to advertise their kingdom.
As part of their unit of study, they also had Mr. Cameron Wood from the Science Museum, who came to talk about the diversity of the African continent.
Mr. Wood shares about different languages people used, some including the clicking tongue, the different currencies people used, including seashells, and even brought some real African artifacts for the children to see and touch.
One lucky student from each class even got the chance to hold a sword made out of hardened elephant hide and a sword. The 7th graders are now moving into learning about colonial Africa as part of their next unit of study.
In 6th grade news, the class of 32 also had some cool projects going on in their classes. In science, they've been working on a plant ID project. 6th graders were assigned a plant, and specifically that grows on MSB campus, and they had to research it. Then, with a partner, they created an ID tag to put on the ground next to the plant.
The tags identify the plant, include a few facts about it, an image, and a QR code for further information. From there, Mr. Toth helped create these so they could be printed on the laser cutter in the library. Here is an example of one of the tags from 6th graders, Jack and Emery.
The 6th graders also recently wrapped up data project for math. 6th graders went around interviewing their fellow 6th grade classmates about their opinions and then used Excel spreadsheets to make the graphs based on data they collected. You can take a look at for yourself at the graphs that you can find in some of the 6th grade classrooms in the library.
And now we're going to kick it over to Aiden, who has all the info you need for MSB Sports and Clubs. Aiden.
Thank you, Herbie and Marco. I'm Aiden McElroy, here with all your middle school sports news. In sports news, November has started, and so far our winter sports includes 6th, 7th, and 8th grade basketball. Tryouts wrapped up over our last few weeks, and we're off to the races. 8th grade is led by Coach Costa, Slave, and Datis this year. 7th grade has a new coach in Mr. Bird alongside Mr. Paris. This 6th grade, Mr. and Mrs. Shane and their coaches. 7th and 8th grade had their first game on Monday away at Berkshire and had their home opener yesterday against Covington. We'll be sure to give you updates on how all the teams are doing as the season progresses.
Thanks for that, Aiden. The other big piece of the club news is that Drama Club debuts their show Descendants tonight. Descendants is about children of Disney villains as the show follows them as they change their evil ways.
The show premieres tonight at 7 o'clock at the KW Auditorium. And all MSB and MSG students get to see a special showing of the play tomorrow during the afternoon, right after our Thanksgiving lunch. Then the Drama Club will do one last performance tomorrow night. Over 30 students from MSB and MSG starred in the show, including Nolan Bradley, Josiah Majors Irwin, Jax Wolf, Dean Russell, and Yunjae Song. The show was directed by our very own Mr. Ernst, and the cast has been preparing for this moment since September.
The club will perform another show in spring, which will have auditions in December. As they say in the drama world, break a leg to the cast and crew of the Descendants.
That's right, break a leg, you guys. Now is one last remember for health and wellness.
As the weather continues to cool down, and be sure to bring your outside gear for recess.
This includes coats, hats, gloves, boots, and snow pants.
Well, that brings us to the end of their show. If you haven't already,
be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notifications for all of our new episodes and other news stories about CKMSB.
You can find us out on YouTube, CKTV, CKMSB. Thanks again for watching, Cranes. I'm Marco Q.
And I'm Herbie Hanson. Have a great rest of your day, Cranes, and as always, aim high.